demonstration of support. This dynamic ad hoc group elected me the coordinator of this strategic march after a local black millionaire named James Del Rio, who later became a judge, asked me to become a founder of the sponsoring organization, the Detroit Council for Human Rights, and run its office. I was recruited by a group of influential elders because of my influence as a writer for a black newspaper, my high energy enthusiasm for community causes, and for my youthful outlook. I was a recent college graduate, and I had earned a reputation for being an earnest worker. Many people think that life is like a football, and it takes a lot of unpredictable bounces. Mama, a maid and a dishwasher back in Charleston, West Virginia, thought otherwise. She told me that life is a series of choices. Good choices create good outcomes. Bad choices, bad ones. By the time I met Dr. King, I took that statement to mean that the only way you can duplicate anyone's success is to share the same vision of reality. After all, Mama said that if you lie down with dogs, you will rise with fleas. But if you lie down with angels, you will grow wings. From my angel mama, I rose with wings made of core values that helped me soar and achieve great heights in health, wealth, and happiness. They certainly helped me cope with the challenge that faced me in Detroit and meeting the famous Dr. King. I met Mama when I was 2 months old and dying of starvation. Martin Luther King Jr. would later put wind under those wings with words like freedom and equality when he entered my life on June the 23rd, 1963. Moved by an energy rarely seen among African Americans since, Dr. King walked among us. An eclectic ocean of mostly black people reverently followed him down Woodward Avenue in Detroit that sunny day. Then, at the conclusion of the march, for the first time, came his "I Have a Dream" speech. Whether his signature dream speech was delivered for the first time in Detroit on June the 23rd, 1963, as I have believed for years, or at Rocky Mount, North Carolina, Albany, Georgia, or Huntsville, Alabama, as some in those cities believe, the Detroit Epiphany will always be the first day of my new life. The following week, in its July 29, 1963 edition, Business Week magazine called the Detroit event the largest civil rights march in history. Subsequently, an official police source, in an affidavit, confirmed an attendance of no fewer than 250,000 and as many as 500,000 people. They came from throughout the nearby Midwest. More official confirmation has been forthcoming since then. Nearly 40 years later, in 2003, the Wall Street Journal would report on page 1 that the famed King Dream speech may have had its roots not at the March on Washington, which drew 250,000, on August 28, 1963, but perhaps 66 days before in Detroit, Michigan, where the attendance may have reached 500,000. Although I had no official role in the Washington March, I did witness it as a correspondent for the Detroit Courier newspaper from the steps of the Lincoln Memorial within a few feet of Dr. King, and I was included in the Life magazine picture coverage of the event. All of this in only 66 days. My head was spinning with excitement and wonderment. It seemed that my Detroit decision to choose activism as a way of life had become my destiny. But I was still troubled by something I saw at the Detroit March. In a book I wrote, I paid tribute to two of the most important figures in my life, Mama and Dr. King, and I revealed those unsettling feelings that went back to Detroit.